One of the movies to bring virtual reality from a dream to mainstream was The Matrix. It featured characters living in a simulated world not knowing that they are not living in the real world. But first, what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a fully immersive computer-simulated environment that gives the user the feeling of being in the environment instead of the one that they're actually in. A lot of video games have already developed the tech used to dump users into an interactive world, just the middle of a first-person shooter, in the driver's seat of a spaceship, or even in your own little town. But this isn't virtual reality. Virtual reality alters your perception of reality, while in these games you are just watching what happens to your character. These are some key steps to having a fully immersive experience necessary for virtual reality. Though there are tons of different methods for virtual reality, one of the most common ones today are through headsets that use a stereoscopic display to mimic what you would see as if you were in the virtual reality environment. These often come with gadgets that track where you look around you and will change what you are looking at appropriately. If you turn your head left, the display will render what's on your left in the environment. Added bonuses of having haptic feedback sync to feel touch and controls for your hand to use the environment add to a great experience because of virtual interactivity. Virtual interactivity lets you interact with the environment around you so you can move around and do what you like. This helps prevent games and experiences from feeling like a 3D movie, because if we can interact with the items in our environment, it helps trick our brain into perceiving that the world we are in is actually real, and bam, virtual reality. Why is virtual reality so appealing? Virtual reality is appealing to the majority of the world simply because it allows users to escape their problems in the real world and jump into a whole other universe that allows them to become the creator of their world in a matter of minutes. You could be grieving about the death of a loved one, but in reality, virtual reality, you could have the option to still interact with them using VR technology. VR is a strong technological platform to help cope with human emotions. It allows every user to do what they want, when they want, however they want, as many times as they choose to do it, without having to stress to think about what society really thinks about it. VR is currently the world's latest invention. As it continues to control a huge part of our global markets in business, education, gaming, VR is most likely going to be a part of our daily lives for a good amount of time. Where is VR heading towards in the future? In the next couple of years, we'll be seeing VR integrated into our daily lives. Gaming will reach new levels by having VR headsets be incorporated into normal and competitive play. It will enhance the whole experience on gaming consoles, allowing users to view artificial scenery and roleplay in the future. Though VR hasn't reached its peak, the possibilities of VR are endless. It will eventually reach a point where you will be able to use headsets and interact with people online as if you were right in front of them. This can benefit many families across the world as well as business ventures, helping them connect their loved ones or business partners in less than a fraction of a plane ticket to Europe. Current VR comes with some potential hazards. Enhancing a gamer's experience can lead users into suffering an addiction, social anxiety, overconsumption, lack of exercise, and many more problems if used without moderation. But as there are some negative side effects in VR, its physical effects are motion sickness, which is developed when using any type of VR system for a long period of time, causing the user to become nauseated due to the fact that they're used to a VR system. This sickness could also be referred to as cyber sickness. In addition, VR could also have a toll on users' emotions and mental thinking. With VR most likely becoming addicting to some people, it could possibly brainwash them into relying on the virtual world for help rather than the real world. This addiction will probably lead to more serious problems if not properly addressed today. Marketing will also allow businesses to display their ideas and thoughts to other businesses or investors, saving them the cost of traveling, but still reaching their point and ideas to them. VR is most likely to be used to help influence consumers into buying products, aka create 3D commercials and advertisements from watching video or playing a game on a VR system. As of now, billion-dollar companies are currently working on prototypes to help get their business campaigns running, allowing them to gain an upper hand against their competitors. Education will be revamped into a whole new world of teaching. VR systems will create opportunities for people around the world to learn and connect with teachers online and interact with them as if they were in the classroom. This learning opportunity will benefit third world countries, making education become a necessity rather than a luxury in their world of learning. VR will not only save companies and schools money from expenses like textbooks, pencils, papers. Reason being is because most of these things we learn now will eventually all become digital, and that is when VR will become a major learning tool in schools across the world. But what are the different types of VR?
There are many different types of virtual reality, but they've been condensed to 4. The 4 types of virtual reality are immerse, desktop, projection, and simulation. Immersive virtual reality is when a person has the perception of being present in a non-existent world. Desktop virtual reality is low-cost homebrew virtual reality where a person sees the virtual world through computer screen but does not experience 3D. Projection virtual reality is when a person is inside a physical room and the virtual world is projected around them. So it's very much like immersive virtual reality, but you're inside a physical room instead of a virtual room. Simulation virtual reality speaks for its name. It is when a person experiences virtual world through a set of simulations and the experience is in 3D. This is very useful for education and marketing purposes. For example, new pilots that are in training are often put through a virtual flight simulators to help them experience what flying an airplane feels like. Or a customer can learn more about a product through a simulation of the product.